Hi there, strikers. There's something uniquely disturbing about people vanishing into thin air. Read about these incredibly strange, unsolved cases. Although these disappearances span centuries, locations, age ranges, and circumstances, there's one common thread shared between them: a lack of closure. There are theories, speculations, and investigations, but never a decisive answer. On our incoming episode, I'm going to feature some of the cases of mysterious disappearances of some missing that just disappear without any trace. Our feature story is about the mysterious disappearance of Sherylyn and Karen Impno. They are students who both disappeared in Hagonoy, Bulacan, on June 26, 2006, while doing their school project. Sherylyn was the second child born in the Kadapan family, and was a sports science senior at the time of her disappearance. According to her mother, Linda Kadapan, she was a sprinter under the varsity scholarship. Kadapan also had joined protests against the rising fuel prices and human rights abuses under the Arroyo administration. Her political views disappointed her mother back then. Karen Impno was a graduating sociology student, and she was described as a friendly by her mother. On June 26, 2006, Kadapan and Impno, both alumni of the University of the Philippines Diliman, were abducted by military men in Hagonoy, Bulacan, during the tenure of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and were accused of being members of the Communist Party of the Philippines. This incident took place at the time of a fierce conflict in central Luzon between their government and the Communist New People's Army. According to the official investigation, eyewitness Raymond Manalo stated that General Jovito Palparan tortured Sherylyn by hitting her mouth and punching her breasts and stomach area until they bled. Palparan also slammed wooden planks against the victim so that Sherylyn would admit to being a communist, while Sherylyn kept on saying that she wanted to go home to her parents. Manalo also noted that he saw the military stealing from nearby villages, burning dead bodies using gasoline, and shooting a man who was riding a carabao due to farm work. Manilo's account also noted that in April 2007, he saw Sherylyn lying naked on a chair that had fallen on the floor, her wrists tied together and one leg tied down, while being hit by wooden planks, electrocuted, and afterwards being half drowned. The military also played with her body, poking wooden objects inside Sherylyn's vagina, after finding out that Sherylyn was going to write a letter to somebody. Sherylyn, due to intense torture, blurted out that the letter was Karen's idea. The military then dragged Karen out from her cell, stripped her naked, tied her wrists and ankles, then beat her, subjected her to water torture, burned her with cigarettes, and raped her with pieces of wood. Manalo afterwards washed the two women's clothes, including their blood-drenched panties. He also noted that the bucket containing urine from the two women was filled with chunks of blood. The leftist political party Bagong Alian Sangmaykabayan accused the armed forces of the Philippines of being involved in the women's disappearance and alleged deaths. Former General and former Congressman Jovito Palparan, known as Badugo, Butcher, for his involvement, was implicated by the Philippine government in 2011 for kidnapping, torture, and murder. Sherylyn Kadapan was screaming on the day she was stolen. She was blindfolded and beaten, dragged into a jeep by men in army uniforms, tortured into confession, stripped naked, bound, and then raped with shards of bloody wood on the orders of a man called Grandfather. It is the story that witnesses have told, under oath, the same witnesses who have pointed fingers at Jovito Palparan Jr., retired Major General, former congressman. It is the story Sherylyn's mother believes. She imagines it, sees it in nightmares, a story she has accepted as truth. Linda wept when she heard of Palparan's capture. She did not know how to feel, only that maybe there was a chance for justice. She continues to believe Sherylyn is alive. It is not easy to keep the faith, says Linda, but it is a matter of will. Her daughter is lost, not dead. It is what she chooses to believe. This is what she says on the day Palparan was found hiding on the second floor of a wooden house in the slums of Stamesa. Linda was proud when her daughter Sherylyn went off to college at the University of the Philippines. Sherylyn was a sprinter, on a varsity scholarship. The pretty, dimpled girl who brought home gold medals and prize money to her mother. It was Sherylyn who gave up school to make way for a younger sibling, Sherylyn who wanted to study medicine but knew their family couldn't afford it, Sherylyn who later, much later, disappointed her mother when she decided to turn activist. Linda noticed Sherylyn's politicization slowly, and was angry when she found out. It was struggle enough to keep the family alive, and here was Sherylyn, going to rallies, howling about broken farmers, herring off to participate in activities her mother didn't understand. Linda hated the activists whose screaming protest tangled traffic and got in the way of her husband's jeepney route. Once, Sherylyn wrote her a letter, explaining why she had to work among the masses. It was a treatise on rising fuel prices and students deprived of education, about land stolen from peasants and the abuses of the Arroyo government. Linda told her to find work. Help the poor all you want, she told Sherylyn, but stay away from the activists. Sometimes Sherylyn would call to tell her mother she missed her. Don't talk about missing me, Linda would say. You keep saying it, but you never come home. On June 25, 2006, Sherylyn called home to say she was pregnant. She thought she was already 2 months along. Linda's husband Asher spoke to Sherylyn. She did not speak to her mother, and her mother did not ask. It was the last time anyone in the family heard her voice. He was arrested for the disappearances in 2014. Palparan ran for senator in the 2016 elections, but lost. On September 17, 2018, Palparan was sentenced to life imprisonment after being convicted for his involvement in the disappearances. Lieutenant Colonel Felipe Anotado and Sergeant Edgardo Osorio were convicted alongside Palparan for the kidnapping of Kidipan and Impno. Forced disappearances are commemorated every All Saints' Day by their relatives and friends.